with our arch rivals India on the 22nd of February. He's preparing very hard, he's preparing very well, and then at the same time, the best part is that in 9 matches, he actually won 7 and he
Wow.
only lost 2.
I'm already inspired, to be
Who he
honest.
is something which we're going to share with you guys in this small clip.
Wow, ladies and gentlemen, just to give a hint, this was Wolverine of Pakistan, Logan, in our studio right now, ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen, Ahmad Mujtaba, MMA fighter, and you know, it was 11-2. I think that's what it is. Yeah, 9-2, ladies and gentlemen. So 11 total fights, 2 he lost, and 9 he's won as well, in which first 5 were knockouts or KTOs. I think I think that's what it is. Ahmad Mujtaba over here in the house, aka Wolverine. How are you? Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam. I'm good. How are you?
Absolutely
Absolutely
perfect. Thank you very much for joining us. It's wonderful to have you on the show, and I think it's almost after a year and a half that you actually came back as well.
Yep.
And before going, you know, before last time, I think you were telling us that you're going to go to Brazil, you're going to go to Thailand. There were a lot of challenges, but what has happened in this past year?
Yeah, I took a break for a whole year. I went to Brazil for training. I trained with UFC fighters. After Brazil, I went to Thailand. I trained over there because I knew I had a fight coming up against India.
Yeah.
So now I'm back in Pakistan, and I'm ready for the war.
Wow, that is brilliant. You know, that is why we're so inspired early in the morning, because he's always ready. But Ahmed, the clip that we were just watching, you mentioned there was a 50,000 people crowd.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you do to calm your nerves? Just some days back, I was watching an interview of Sania Mirza. All of you know, she happens to be a very popular tennis player.
Yeah.
And she said every
She's
player
our
out
Bobby
there,
too as well. Yes.
every player out there has different, you know, ways to sort of calm their nerves. Sania Mirza says she loves gossiping about people, you know, in the mini breaks that she gets. There are cricketers who start dancing at the field as well. What do you do to calm your nerves?
I don't feel any pressure because this is our job and we are used to it. But you know, I have a support the people who come along with me in the fight, so they quite they relax me a lot. So I'm good with it. You know, I can handle the crowd easily.
No, but there's this one thing which I want to know. For an MMA fighter, I think that you really do not have to actually keep calm, you know, because your job is to go and throw punches at somebody at a speed where he cannot even dodge the punch. So is it really important for you to be more hyped before your fight, or just a little mellow?
It depends actually. You know, for me, if you're quite calm, then you think a lot. You know, you have to be mentally present in the fight. If you rush in the fight, then you lose your stamina, and it's difficult to fight. You know, in that way, like you going in a rough situation and throwing punches. For me, it's better to be calm and think more and fight smart.
Okay, that's your way of doing it. But where does the name Wolverine come from? I mean, do you draw inspiration from fictional characters?
It's an interesting story,
or
ladies and
movies
gentlemen.
or anything?
No, it's like I went for, you know, Sehroza for 3 days in the masjid, and when I came back, my friends, they started to call me Wolverine. So it was just a random, you know...
Because you were stronger than ever before.
Probably, yeah, something like this. So it was like Wolverine, it just came out of random, you know. So and then I started to call myself Wolverine, and then it goes to international platforms until now, Wolverine.
I think that's great, and I like Wolverine quite a lot as well.
Same.
It's just that they do not make any more films about Wolverine, but I'm sorry for that. I actually love the character Wolverine myself as well. I don't know why. But other than that, you know, Mujtaba, so what happens is that, for example, when we talk about Floyd Mayweather, you know, it's a huge name, it's a big name, but he's never ever lost a fight. And this is how your streak was going initially as well. I think till the 5th or the 6th fight, right? If I'm not wrong.
Till 8.
Till 8.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, so first 8 fights, ladies and gentlemen, Ahmad Mujtaba was undefeated. But then somewhere, somehow, something went wrong. You lost 2 fights. What were the problems? What were the challenges you were facing? What kind of psychological journey were you having when you actually lost a fight? Because, you know, if I would have won 8 fights, might not have been into any other fight. I would have been like, okay, I'm going to retire now. Man. I don't want to lose.
First of all, training in Pakistan, it's quite difficult, people, when you're fighting in upper leagues, in high platforms, you need a lot of good training.
Okay.
So in Pakistan, there is no such training, number one.
Okay.
So number two, there were like jealousy thing going on in the gym and like some personal attacks and all. So I just wanted to stay away from that stuff,
All of this.
So that mentally didn't help me a lot to fight well in the arena. So I lost my 2 fights because of that.
Psychological
yes,
pressure sort
a lot. I mean, I wasn't present in the fight, and I knew I couldn't perform well, and I lost the fight.
But was it also because of the pressure that, I mean, imagine it's such a young age, mashallah, you had 5 consecutive wins, and you kept winning.
Yep.
And then there was, of course, a sort of pressure and a responsibility expectation as well from your fans, of course,
Exactly.
that, you cannot do bad anymore. And then you had a phase, a sort of a
Yeah,
psychological
yeah,
breakdown and
yeah.
whatnot. But okay, moving on. Since I already mentioned that when you started doing this, you were so young, mashallah, but you had to sort of take a break from your studies as well.
Yeah.
How did that go? I mean, how did you juggle between a student life and such a professional life that you had built?
Because I still remember when last time he was here, he actually had to miss a lecture probably, and then he was on the phone with his teacher, and then the teachers were very supportive of the fact
Oh.
that they wanted you to be here.
I wish mine were. Okay,
Yeah.
sorry, please.
It's very tough, studies and MMA, it's very tough to, cover up, number one. Number two, I'm really appreciate my VC, Butams. I got graduated from Butams, Quetta, Balochistan. So the VC and the teachers, they quite, appreciated my love for the sport of MMA, and they wanted me to focus on MMA. But I gave the papers, I got graduated in computer science,
Wow.
Wow.
3.5 CGPA.
Wow.
Yeah, I did well. I mean, I'm a good student as well. So
That's
it's tough,
brilliant.
but nothing is impossible. If you have a mission, if you have a milestone to achieve, you achieve it,
But also, Ahmed, you have one of your parents happened to be a teacher as well, so
Yeah.
definitely.
You took my words, man.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
I was about to ask
So
that.
discipline is sort of in your blood.
Yeah.
But other than that, what helps you keep your head in the game?
My passion, my love for my country. I mean, I want to do something for my country, and I have done a lot for my country,
Yeah.
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah, so that's the thing. I mean, discipline is number one,
Yeah.
And I just got it from my dad because
Yeah.
he is a PhD doctor.
Wow.
And I'm quite thankful to Almighty Allah that I have such a beautiful parents.
Wow.
And I think that's great as well. And I think for Ahmed Mujtaba's parents to be out there, sir and madam, auntie and uncle, we are very proud of your son. The entire country is very proud of your son. So please make sure that you give him whatever support he requires. But other than that, there's this one question which is going to be on a very lighter note, and that is that God forbid if I do not really want to say God forbid, if my father happened to be a PhD doctor or a professor at a university, I don't think that I could have been a MMA fighter, because that's not what they want. So did you actually face such sort of challenges initially when you wanted to be a fighter, where your father was like, oh, pad lo pehle, kuch kar lo, things like these?
Of course I did. I mean, my dad wants me to join army. So, but my passion was for MMA. I did O levels, then I did FSC, then I joined, university. But my passion for MMA was too much that I declined my, father's dream because he wanted me to join army.
Okay.
So we had rough conversation with dad and all, but at the end when I won the belt, so he got quite happy because he came to know that I'm doing something for my country.
Yeah.
So now he appreciates me and try to support as much as he could.
Okay,
Wow.
but on the contrary, how do you think that your mother might feel when she knows that, you'll be thrown punches at,
Yeah.
and then, after the fight, when you go back home, what is the best comment you get to hear from your mother?
Oh, I always see my mother crying, last fight, she always, they buy the pay-per-view and they're watching my fight and my mom is crying and reciting something and my dad is doing the same. And my little brother is updating me after the fight oh, mom was crying, dad was crying, you got hurt, is everything okay? Because previous fight, I got, an illegal hits on my back of the neck.
Yeah.
So I was hospitalized, so they were quite worried about it. So it's going, I mean.
So then what do you say to your mother when you come back
Yeah.
home after a victorious
Yeah.
fight, or even if it wasn't really
Yeah.
victorious or helpful,
Yeah.
but what do you say to your mom to calm her down?
I mean, I say nothing to my mom. She knows
She
from
just
what problems.
understands.
Yeah, she understands, and she's at the end of the day, she's like, okay, just leave it, just leave
Okay.
it. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. But Emma, tell us about your training. Tell us,
Yeah.
were you self-taught? Tell us about your coaches. Where did you find them?
Yeah.
When did you begin? Everything.
Well, I started my training back in Quetta, and then I met a guy, Fizan Zain. he went he sent me, sorry, he sent me to, you know, Brazil, he sent me to
Wow.
Thailand.
Wow.
Yeah, he gave me the exposure, and like I didn't train well in Pakistan,
Okay,
so I
okay.
joined some good clubs like AKA, UFC gyms, and I trained over there. I got the knowledge, and then when I come back Pakistan, I try to, you know, share the knowledge with the young kids and the coming up talent. So
Okay.
that's how it goes, you know.
Okay, perfect. And you know, just one more thing. You are indeed, you know, the pride of Pakistan. But there are some players who are living abroad, sort of associated with Pakistan,
Yeah.
and who are celebrated more than they should be.
Exactly.
What do you want to say about that?
I think you're
mean,
referring to Amir Khan over here.
dude. Okay. Anyway, what do you want to say about?
Well, I feel sad, you know. I don't want to say this, but I have to. It's a matter of shame, you know. I'm a Pakistani. I have a Pakistani passport. I'm a national. I'm being patriotic, and I'm not treated the way I should be, you know.
Yeah.
I'm not begging for anything. Alhamdulillah, I've got
You've
everything.
achieved so much on your
I've
own,
achieved a lot. My gym, Bilal Biku, Numan Bhai, they're doing a lot for me, you
Yeah.
know. But we are not getting what we deserve, you know. Why not us, you know? Like, is there any something bad in me or what? I can market anything very good. you
Right.
know?
Indeed. Why
Yeah,
not?
so I mean, like, I don't understand the big plan behind this. You know, I don't know how it will happen. You know,
Right.
I feel sad. You know.
I think you're very correct over here, because last night this is the type of conversation I was in with Mr. Rashid Latif Saab, and then he was saying that while I was on my way towards the studio, I was listening to the radio, and the radio said PSL, Shahid Afridi, and whatnot. But you know, all of these players, ladies and gentlemen, have retired. I don't think that, you know, the marketeers actually need to play with all of those names as well. There are newer names in the market. But
Indeed.
there's one thing, and it's going to get tricky for you now.
Yeah.
So Ahmad Mujtaba, you know, you're one of the very most celebrated MMA fighters over here in
Yeah.
Pakistan.
Yeah.
You're renowned globally as well. So, you know, people are going to throw questions at you. And I think that, you know, for somebody who's actually a public figure, who's doing something for the country, will have to keep his calm and then answer the questions.
Right.
Okay, so I've got a question of such
Yeah.
sort. I'm sorry for that, but I think it is very important for public figures to actually answer all of these questions.
Indeed. I'm so excited
So you
for
said,
this one.
so you said that you haven't actually, you never got a chance to train perfectly very well over here in Pakistan.
Yeah.
But as far as I know, I think your first 8 fights were from Pakistan. You
Yeah.
trained in Pakistan, and you were undefeated as well.
Yeah.
So how come all of a sudden you've got a change of comment within your own figure of speech? How can you do that?
Well, you asked the question. Let me answer that properly now. You know, there is no such training in Pakistan. When I went to Brazil, the coach, the NCAA champion, asked me like, "Who trained you?" And I told him who trained me. So he was like this, you know.
Okay.
Over here, the people, the coaches, they don't appreciate you, you know.
Right.
I have the best takedown. And the Brazilian coach, you have the best takedown. Over here, the people say you don't have a best takedown.
Okay.
The NCAA champion is saying you have the best takedown.
Right.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, if I don't have a best takedown, you should rather say you have it, because you should have given me the confidence.
Definitely.
You know?
Definitely.
It's not happening over here, you know.
The
And what I-
encouragement.
yes.
Okay.
And the fights I won, I did that on my own.
Amazing.
I know. I ran from G13 to Blue Area. My
Wow.
mom used to give me 1,500. No one knows that. You
Yeah.
know.
Okay, that's great. But you know, there's this one reason, ladies and gentlemen, why I actually have to take him down to that grief lane, which was actually full of grief. And that is that, you know, ladies and gentlemen, in life, there needs to be a moment when you actually have to decide when to step back or when to hold back. Unfortunately, there's this one thing which I've recognized by myself as well, and the sport he is in, that if he never took this decision to actually step back or go to Brazil and Thailand, I think that your career might have been over.
Exactly.
You know, so at times it's very important to move on, to leave behind the bandwagons, and then be a part of a newer one.
But one thing I'll add, like, I still respect my coaches.
Okay.
Whatever it is, our minds don't match, but still I respect them. I still remember in my duas, that's what my parent taught me, and still my dad says, whatever it is, Ahmad, respect your coaches.
Exactly.
Wow, indeed.
And I think it is very important, whether may them be coaches, may them be parents, may them be teachers, ladies and gentlemen, it is very important. But what about somebody, if he's actually made a shot towards the moon and a golf ball landing on the moon, ladies and
Wow.
gentlemen, this is something which I wanted to share with you guys.
And you know, whenever we talk about stepping on moon, the first thing that comes to our mind is, of course, you know, being the first person from the earth to put your foot on moon, but putting your golf balls on moon as well.
Exactly.
Wow.
So, ladies and gentlemen, today on 6th of February, Alan Shepard, ladies and gentlemen, was one of those people who actually, you know, he tricked the entire staff, and then he took a golf club and a golf ball, alongside him, and
Yeah.
then while they were about to take off, he had a shot, and then he drove all the golf ball alongside him, took him to moon, and then shot him again. So yeah, this is how a golf ball landed on the moon, ladies and gentlemen, and that too on 6th of February.
Very good now. And answer Ed's question earlier there, Kilo Kilo was the edge for the window shot there, so you ought to bring it back. Yeah, so you're telling us to start with, didn't we? Yes.
Wow, and you know, this mission was right actually after Apollo 13. And Apollo 13, everyone in the world sort of, you know, had put their minds to it that Apollo 13 is going to succeed. They're going to the people who are going to land on moon and, you know, do all the things that they were planned to do. But it failed tragically. And then this was, I think, Apollo 14, the mission that we were talking about.
This was Apollo 14, ladies and gentlemen. But you know, imagine somebody. I mean, first of all, obviously, I definitely wanted to be. You know, I've mentioned it a lot of times that I wanted to be a pilot. But somebody who's actually a scientist, you know, he's going to take a golf club and a golf ball alongside him so that, you know, he could actually shoot a golf ball onto the moon. I think this is something very crazy. This is something very out of the box, and I think such are the type of people who actually are out of the box. And
No,
I
but-
think if
yeah.
it would have been me,
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask.
I
What
think
would
I
you
would
do?
have, you know, if NASA would have allowed me, I think I would have taken my dog alongside me as well. You know,
Wow.
the first ever dog to have stepped on the moon.
Wow, wow. What about
What
you,
about
Ahmad?
you?
If you were, you know, to go to the
I
moon
think you
for
would
the
have
first
an
time?
MMA fight on
Yeah,
the
I
moon.
would rather do some shadow boxing, you know.
Okay, perfect. But you know, coming back to your fights, this particular question is actually in line with your fight on the 22nd of February that Shahzad already mentioned, with our arch rival India, which of course we're going to win, inshallah. So you tell me, what are your strategies? I mean, for some players, they focus on their own strengths and, you know, more strengthen themselves. And for others, they target the other's weaknesses. So what is your strategy?
Well, I'm training on myself. I'm mentally strong right now. I know what to do in the fight, and I know my opponent's weakness. So I've been working a lot on that, and inshallah we'll win the fight. I'll make my country proud again, and let's do this, inshallah. Let's bleed green, you know.
Yeah,
And we have
that's
no
great.
doubt
And, you
in
know,
that,
it's harder done than said. You know, so
Yeah.
so what happens is that, you know, I was going through your profile and you said that you love pain. But there's this one thing, you know, for example, for us, you know, this studio is an arena. And for us, it is very important to think before we speak.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, which is why I'm going to relate it with MMI, where it is very important to think before punching or kicking to which area to kick or punch.
Yeah.
And it's like flick of a second.
Exactly.
So, you know, for example, if you get a punch and it's a hard one and you black out a little bit, you know, you get a little...
Of course you do.
Yeah, you get a little dizzy. How can you even think about, you know, punching the person back? Because you're already, you know, dizzy, you haven't gained your consciousness back. So, you know, how do you train yourself for that?
We do sparring sessions, you know, with the same gloves and everything, like we are fighting in the arena. So we do get, you know, like rocked like this, as you mentioned. But, you know, we get back to normal because we have trained for that, you know.
Yeah.
It's our job, and like we do 5 rounds, 6 rounds, 7
Okay,
rounds.
okay.
So, but when we get hit, when we get the power punch, so sometimes we get knockout.
Power punch.
Yeah, it's deadly.
How does
you
it
know.
feel? Okay, if you are to explain
Yeah.
in Urdu and in English both. So first in Urdu, how does it feel when you actually get hit or struck by a power
Power
punch?
punch. Imagine the name is so, you know,
कैसा
dangerous,
महसूस होता है?
Lights बंद हो जाती हैं.
Oh.
You don't feel anything.
Blackout.
Yes, because your body works with brain.
Yeah.
So everything is brain. तो जब वो hit होता है तो आपका brain बंद हो जाता है. So you collapse.
Ahmad, should I tell you something? Consciously, I would never do that.
Yeah. No, but is there a chance of dying too as well?
Of course, before the fight we sign the death warrant. That's what I'm saying. कि हम अपनी life risk करके we're doing something for our country, and what we are getting, nothing, zero.
Oh, okay. But you know, that's what we're proud of, Ahmed, because you're doing it, you know, selflessly. You're not looking for a reward, you know, there are no expectations, of course. You're doing it because out of passion, out of hobbies. But did that ever sort of, you know, become a hindrance in your personal life?
Obviously it does, yeah. I mean, we definitely
see,
want support.
This is my job, you know. I'm not doing for fun. Of course, it's my passion. I'm doing it for my country. But you know, after getting the medals and appreciation from the people, that will not pay my bills. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
that will not. I have to run a family, so I need money for that. You know, And again, I say that I'm not begging for anything, but I need what I deserve because I'm doing something for my country.
Right.
And some people around me, like my Jim, Bilal, Biku, they are trying to do whatever they could. They can, you know.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like people outside, like at day before I saw DG ISPR, he took a photo with Darren Sami.
Yeah.
I mean, like I am Pakistani, why not me?
Yeah.
I mean, like I'm doing something big for my country. I'm putting my life at risk.
Exactly.
It's better rather than I mean, like I should leave MMA and go for a job wearing suit 9 to 5. I get good money. I can eat whatever I want to eat. It's
No,
not
But
but
you
like
know
that.
Ahmed-
what, wouldn't you? I'm so sorry,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
cutting
go
you
ahead.
here, but I think we're going to ask the similar question. But you have studied computer science, as you already
Yeah,
mentioned, right?
yeah.
So did you not ever think about maybe, putting this aside and having a white-collar job, let's say, or
Yeah.
anything, a proper
Yeah,
job
yeah.
maybe?
I am thinking now, I could have think that before, but I thought like doing something for my country, I could get a good, payback, for what I deserve,
Yeah.
I'm not, I don't need fame, I don't need extra money, I don't need anything, I need what I deserve. That's it,
Okay, that's great, but I think that people actually start to think about getting a job when, for example, there's this loved one who enters in your life too as well. Did you got engaged or nikah or something of that sort?
yeah,
as
I'm
well?
engaged, and inshallah, in a couple of months, I'm getting married as well.
Oh,
Wow.
So that's what
congratulations on
yeah,
that.
thank you so
Mashallah.
much.
Somebody's blushing here, ladies and gentlemen. But there's this one thing which Ahmed mentioned about, and that too about DG ISPR, Mr. Asif Ghafoor Saab, clicking a picture with Darren Sami. So there's this other concept to it as well, and that is that, ladies and gentlemen, when international stars like these, they come to Pakistan, the sole purpose to be alongside them is to actually let the world know that,
Yeah.
we're a peaceful nation, we're a peaceful country, and that people like Darren Sami, people like Vivid Richards, and people from all over the world actually come down to Pakistan and they feel safe. So that was one concept, but your concept is correct.
I mean,
too.
like,
But and thank you, Shazad, for clearing that side of the picture as well, because whenever we do listen to a story, we sort of neglect the part that there's another part of the story as well.
Exactly.
And since we're talking about international relations and whatnot, there's this one person who happens to be very important in the history of America, first of all, but in the history of the world itself.
40th President of the United States of America, ladies and gentlemen, was born 6th of February. Ronald Reagan, we're
In
talking about.
1911.
Yes. Go ahead. What do you want to share about Ronald Reagan?
Well,
I think that he was a very inspiring gentleman, ladies and gentlemen. Served as the 33rd governor of California.
Wow.
An office which he served for 2 consecutive terms before being appointed as the 40th President of the United States of America in 1980. What a great guy. There's a lot of documentaries made on this gentleman too as well. But over the years, he was honored with numerous prestigious awards worldwide, including American Presidential Medal of Freedom, Republican Senatorial Medal of Freedom. Well, there were a lot of them, but these were the few ones which I could remember. I think.
Did you say Republican?
Yeah, that's what it says.
Yeah. I'm just going to reserve my comments. And let's take a look at, okay, we're done with it. Wow.
Yeah, we have our differences, and this is how it works. This is how chemistry works, because if it's going to be plus plus, we're going to repel, right?
It's going to be so flat, and we don't want flat. Of course, there has to be ups and downs.
Yeah.
That is what life is, right?
But I think that, a lot of times, ladies and gentlemen, we have a lot of other differences which we really do not want to put on screen. But other than that, let's focus on Mr. Ahmad Mujtaba.
Yeah.
Since, Ahmed, you've got the opportunity today, and I know that, my producers won't be happy with that as well. But, I literally want you to share and take all of those names who've helped you so far to
Yes.
reach to this level,
Yeah.
so that other people can actually come on board too as well. And I think that I've actually decided to sponsor you for whatever smaller or bigger thing I can. That's a promise
So
on air,
proud,
ladies and
wow.
gentlemen, inshallah.
Well, thank you so much.
And I won't take any percentages. And I want to talk about this too as well.
Sure, we will, inshallah. Well, I want to thank personally to the VC Butums and my few friends, Fizan Zain, Memosh, Rizwan Ali, and my big brother, Bilal Biku, my gym. They have supported me a lot. And my few other friends, Sinan, Temur, and some other good guys. I mean, like, I'm speechless right now. I mean, like, I've done a lot, and it's
Abbas?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just thinking,
Abbas, you're doing a
Jack
great job.
Nutrition, I want to say thank you, Jack Nutrition, as well, for fueling me up for the supplements and
Amazing.
for this beautiful,
Yeah, body bricks jackets
body
too
brick
as well.
jackets.
Wow.
And, there are some people, they are trying to do whatever they can, and of course, Basit Bhai Executive Club, I go over there and train over there.
Very nice. I've said.
So it's like some people are trying to do what they can, but I need, I'm just waiting for the big click, for the big spark,
But Ahmed, since Shazad already mentioned, and I'm so very proud of that you are going to help him in, whatever way you can. Let's talk about sponsorships.
Yeah.
You get them by yourselves. Any that you've gotten
Yeah.
or haven't,
Yeah.
talk to us about it.
Right now, my gym is just my sponsor right
Okay,
now. Yeah.
okay.
And other than that, Jack Nutrition is like fueling me up with the supplements
yeah.
and with the clothes sometimes.
Right.
That's it.
But like, isn't it that when you have to represent Pakistan in an international forum, you do get like a sort of office from national sponsors? Does that happen to you as well?
Oh, you're talking about the government?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, zero. I mean, like, there's no such support from government right now, and it's been 8 years I'm doing MMA.
On your own.
Yeah, and
Okay.
But I
Okay,
think
perfect,
changes almost around the corner too as well. But very quickly, ladies and gentlemen, second last question, because I have another question which is definitely going to be about your fight on 22nd of February
Yes.
against Raju, right?
Rahul Raju.
Rahul Raju, yes, that's what it is. So you know MMA fighters globally are known for their bestest physiques,
Yeah,
good looks,
Yeah.
smart,
Yeah.
handsome,
Yeah.
hunky, whatnot. And you already have decided to get married. Don't you think that your wife will be in a lot of trouble because you'll still be fighting in shorts, that too with six-pack abs and whatnot? How do you think that you're actually going to tell her that there are no other women falling in love with you?
Well, it's a matter of trust,
Yeah,
If
that's
you
what
trust-
everybody says.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, it's a matter of trust for me. In a relationship, if you trust your partner, that's the main thing.
Yeah.
The trust is the main thing.
I mean, imagine, ladies and gentlemen, there's this gentleman over here in the studio who actually punches a lot of people all around the world, but gets shy when we asked about his love life.
Yeah.
Oh my God, what a love!
He gets
love.
pink, literally.
Love is spiritual. But now,
Yes.
towards the end, tell us about your fight, how well prepared you are, how can we watch that match, all of those details. Share.
Well, I'll be giving my best. It's
Inshallah.
Pakistan versus India, and I want to win this fight, at any cost. I want to make my country proud again, and what else? What else?
So no matter what happens, you're not going to give up.
No,
Are
not
you
at
sure?
all. I mean, like on that day, I will win this fight because on 21st
Or
it's my birthday as
or
well.
God
and-
forbid,
Oh, wow.
or God forbid, So you're trying. You're not going to give up.
Yeah, not at all.
So you're going to come back home
Inshallah.
victorious.
Yeah.
We
Inshallah. Yes.
want that.
Inshallah,
Okay.
we will.
Yeah, inshallah. Ladies and gentlemen, please make sure to remember Mr. Ahmad Mujtaba in your prayers. And we definitely wish him best of luck because I've known him since the time probably he might have just started his journey or probably 2-3 years later than that. I've seen the struggle. I've seen the problems he's faced as well. So for all those people, for all those amazing brands which are out there, for all those clothing brands which are out there, I think that these are the people who actually need to be on those front covers or the pages of the magazines or billboards or wherever, because you are going to make Pakistan great only by making Pakistanis great as well. This
Wow,
is one thing
very
which I
well
want
said.
everybody to, kind of inculcate in your life. But thank you very much, Ahmad, for being
Thank you
with
so
us.
much, Shazad bhai.
Thank you
It
very
was
much.
so
everything,
great to
yeah,
have you. And it's the first time I'm actually meeting this person. The energy is great. And for all the young ones out there who happen to venture into MMA, and are passionate about it and want to become, have an identity
Yeah.
as a Pakistani as well as a Pakistani fighter, you have to follow this man's footsteps because this is going to lead you somewhere in the future as well, inshallah.
Exactly, that's what it is. And since, ladies and gentlemen, he hails from Quetta, Balochistan, so there's only one thing which I would love to say to him, and that is Wash Malay. Wash Malay. Great going, ladies and gentlemen. Don't go anywhere, because when we'll come back, we'll definitely have our lifestyle coach, and I'll ask her, what kind of diet do I need to be a MMA fighter?
Wow,
I
okay.
think only diet will do. No? Yes? Okay.
Okay, let's take a
After
look.
the break. Good morning.
Good morning. Stay tuned. Welcome back to World this morning with the very super energetic Shahzad Khan and the very inspired Shahzad Hashmi, ladies and gentlemen. That is because I met Wolverine in the first segment.
Exactly.
And now we're moving on to something nutritious because, of course, we need to take care of our bodies as well.
Yeah, exactly. And with that, I'm very thankful to our lifestyle coach as well, because she gives away information just like that, which is not on air, so anybody can use that information. So, ladies and gentlemen, to my surprise, and it came to me as a surprise too as well, that in this entire world, we've got 400,000 different types of herbs and spices. So
I am shocked.
So I think the only ones we use over in Pakistan is lal mirch or podina.
Garam
and
masala.
I don't know,
Garam
garam
masala,
masala
yeah.
or chaat masala and whatnot. But other than that, I think this is one thing which we are building up on, ladies and gentlemen, which herbs and spices are good for your health, which are not. And over to Lubna Khan for us. Good morning.
Good morning and assalamu alaikum to all of you. So you stole my information that I was going to question you
thank
on.
you.
But I'm going to ask you guys, how many, I said you're close, but that's not exactly the right answer. So how many herbs and spices do you think we have in the world, and like what makes you say that number?
I'll be very honest, I have absolutely no idea, but since you gave a hint, it's more than 400,000.
So basically anywhere from 300,000 to 400,000, somewhere in there. And that is because that's how many species of plants we have
perfect,
and in the world. And there's still so many spices and herbs that we don't know much about. And like you said, especially in our cuisine, we tend to use all these like box spices that have so many additives in there and stuff like that. What I want to talk about today is the usage of fresh herbs, easy herbs that you should keep on hand. I'm going to talk about my top 10 that I keep all the time with me. And that what helps you pack flavor. So why use the boxed ones when you can get so much more flavor and you can create your own little, spices and keep those.
Just one simple question before you get started, and that is, out of 400,000 herbs, how many can we consume? How many are not lethal for us?
Around 200 to 300,000.
Oh, see, that was important.
Yeah.
Okay,
so,
go ahead.
All right, so let's start. So basically, I've talked about a couple of herbs on the show before. I've talked about turmeric. I've talked about so many things. So I'm going to talk about my top 10. And what these are good for is healing, immune system boosting. They're good for cancer. They're good for, preventing disease. I talked about Ayurveda lightly last time I was here. And a traditional Chinese medicine, Ayurveda, what it basically says is that focus on overall health, not disease. What we tend to do these days is that, now I'm sick, I have a fever, so I'm going to focus on what I can do to make it better. I'm going to consume something like a soup or something. I'm going to, have a tea that's going to help me. So why do we focus on disease but not our overall health? So that's what you can do. That's what herbs are there for, plant medicine and, herbal medicine. That's what it basically does, is make your overall health so much better, prevent, disease, and don't focus on the symptom of the disease. Focus on your health first, and you won't probably get that sick, right? So let's start with herbs. Let's start with my number one, and that is basil. So basil is
I love
excellent.
it on pizza, that's all I know.
Yes, I know. You see, now we can even use it on anything else, right? You can use it with chicken, you can use it with so many different things, any meat basically, or any even like pasta dish, any salad, you can have basil leaves in there. They're excellent for you. They're good for your heart. They have a lot of antioxidants and they are antibacterial. So what it does is takes your toxins out of your body that are being built up with all the environmental stuff that we go around. So that's my number one. My number two is black pepper, and this is something we have in our house all the time. Now, I've mentioned, do you guys remember that tea that I made for you, the turmeric tea? I told you that I put 3 or 4 peppercorns in there, right? So what black pepper mainly does for, which I love, is that it helps you absorb the nutrients of whatever you're eating and consuming. So for example, that turmeric tea, the benefits of turmeric are absorbed better if you have black pepper in there.
Oh, is that why we add black pepper too, or fresh orange juice and other juices?
Yes, exactly, because it helps you absorb the vitamins and minerals that are in whatever you're consuming.
The only thing I've been having black pepper on is a fried egg.
That counts as well.
That counts too. But you know what? You can use black pepper with so many things, and you don't have to sprinkle a whole lot on there. You can just have a little pinch, and it's just going to help you with the absorption of your nutrients, right? The next one is cayenne pepper, or our favorite lal mirch that we like to add on everything. So cayenne pepper is excellent as well. It's very boosting for your metabolism. You can even use it on the detox waters that you intake and everything. It's full of nutrients. It's full of increases a lot of circulation. in your body. So that's what you want to use any kind of hot spices for, actually, not just cayenne, but any kind of hot peppers, jalapenos, and all of that. They're excellent for your metabolism and circulation in the body. The next one I have is cinnamon, which is known as, I believe, darchini. Is it?
Yes,
darchini.
absolutely.
So cinnamon
I don't like it at all.
You don't like
Whoa,
it?
oh,
my
dear
God.
God. I don't like
It's
you.
my
You can sit
favorite.
with us.
Okay, so cinnamon, here, let me tell you this. You
Sure.
got to try it in a certain way, okay? Maybe when you had it, you had too much of it.
Yeah.
Right?
And
Okay.
it makes you nauseatic,
Right,
and things
because
like that
you
happen.
probably when you intake too much, obviously the scent is so strong that you go like, oh my God, what is this, right? So what you gotta do is have it in your teas. You can even put it in chicken. Okay, and you will never taste it, but all it does, it brings out a very fresh flavor and aroma, exactly. But what it does is, again, really great for your circulation. It's antimicrobial, so whenever you have some kind of sickness, why do we say, oh, have some green tea or have something? Because the cinnamon will help get rid of bacteria that are cold symptoms, flu symptoms, all of those things. So cinnamon is excellent for that. In your soups, you can put it in a lot of things. You gotta explore it. So one stick for a whole pot.
Wow.
Well, the problem we do is, like, we have a tendency of, sprinkling a lot of things on our food, but you definitely don't need that, especially if you're using fresh herbs and spices. You don't need to do a whole lot with them. Next one is cloves. So cloves are very, very good for you. I believe they're called long in Urdu. So we use this in actually a lot of our foods, and all of these packet masalas have actually a lot of them. But I recommend using them on their own. They bring out so much flavor. They're good in soups. They're good in chicken, meat, fish, anything that you have in there. It helps you with digestion. It helps you with tooth issues, which is my absolute favorite. So if you are somebody who suffers with cavities or plaques or kind of toothaches or anything like that, kids that are, building teeth and everything, cloves are excellent for them. Put it in there for, their soups, their drinks, whatever, their teas. You will love that. Cloves have an excellent property for your tooth decay or any kind of issues like that. Coriander and cilantro. So you did mention that we tend to use this as, like, a decoration on our food, but we don't tend to consume it for some reason, which I find odd. But this is so good for you. It, again, helps you for digestion. Your blood sugar will go down if you have diabetes. It's good for detoxification. But if it's sprinkled on your food, you're technically not consuming it. So I tend to say, cook with it. So when you're cooking your meal, add the coriander and cilantro in there, as well as the topping in there. Because once you cook it, that's where the nutrients are basically going in there. Okay. Obviously, consuming it raw is also great. So having it in your salads or something like that will give it a very fresh and refreshing taste too. Ginger is my next one. So ginger is excellent. We have it in our teas as well. It's almost in every single food that we consume. So ginger is great for digestion.
Especially in Pakistan, literally every food.
It's everywhere, right? So it's great for digestion, anti-inflammatory issues. So we always talk about inflammation when I'm here. It's excellent for, like, bringing that down, any kind of heat in the body, any kind of swelling. Ginger is excellent for that. Very great properties for cooling our system down. So you want to have ginger. The next one I want to talk about is parsley, which is closely a family member of coriander and cilantro. So parsley is also great when used fresh. Try to stay away from, like, the dried ones or, like, the mixed ones. So parsley is great for anti-tumor stuff. So if, it's great for preventing brain disease, great for preventing tumor properties in your body. So you want to take in parsley for that. It's really good for your health. Wow. The next one I want to talk about is rosemary. Now, rosemary is so underrated. We don't know much about it. People in Pakistan don't know how to use it, even though it's available so easily in our markets. So use rosemary when you're cooking chicken, when you're cooking meats, any kind of fatty fish. It's great for marination things, for your meats and stuff like that. You want to use rosemary. It's good for your immune system and digestion as well. The last one I want to talk about is turmeric. I've had a whole segment on turmeric. So turmeric is really the king of all spices. You want to use turmeric for your health, your immune system, your metabolism, weight loss, everything. So those are my top 10.
Wow, perfect. That is quite a lot of information early in the morning. Thank you for that. But just a few days back, I was talking to Lubna about detox water, and she asked me how I make it. And I think half of the procedure was right. And then asked me to add spices to my detox water. Now, why would a normal person do that?
Right, and I was giving the same advice outside before I was coming in. And the reason you want to add spice or any kind of hot pepper in anything that you're having, especially in the morning, is to boost your metabolism.
Oh,
so
perfect.
Any kind of hot pepper, it increases the heat in your body, so it gets your organs up and running and working even, like, better. So it's going to wake you up, it's going to boost your metabolism, it's going to make you feel more energetic, and so add a little pinch. You don't want to make it like a mirchi water, you know what I mean?
Tablespoon.
That's why I think,
literally
ladies
a
and
pinch.
gentlemen, in days to come, coffees will definitely be
spicier.
Yeah, will be
They
spicier.
do have cinnamon. There is cinnamon latte, so there is
Of
something.
course, and
Exactly.
since you've mentioned cinnamon, so Mama, if you're watching the show this weekend, if I'm coming home, let's make cinnamon chicken, because why not?
Yeah, I think that's great. But thank you very much, Lubna, for being with us. It's lovely to have you every day,
Always a
every
pleasure.
morning, and it's great that you share pieces of advice where we are actually going to keep ourselves healthy
Yes.
because of those advices too as well. But if there's anything, ladies and gentlemen, please don't forget to write to us on our Facebook page, which is with the name of
World This Morning.
on Twitter,
World This Morning without a G.
on Daily Motion and YouTube,
World This Morning,
and this fabulous city is going to be at
5 past 11 p.m.
tonight. Till the next time, 1, 2, 3.
Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you.